Thinking about my dad and maybe what his legacy would be, I would say really hard work and dedication. You never quit once you started something. You always did your best at whatever it was that you were doing. Those were the kind of the lessons that he taught us. And I often hear myself saying similar things to my kids. So I know that that legacy lives on in his children. My dad, he grew up in London. He was the oldest of 4 boys. He spent some time working in Toronto, and that's where he met my mom. And then once they got engaged and married, they moved back to London. I was born in London. Actually, my next brother, Trevor, was born in London as well. And then Dad got a job in Chatham, so we moved down here. It's home. We've always been known as the Brady Bunch. And over the years, as we've gotten married and brought partners and had children and grandchildren, the Brady Bunch has just grown. My parents were really involved in Kinsmen and Kenettes. That was a way that they got involved in the community when they moved to Chatham. My dad was actually dressed up as Elmer the safety elephant for a time, and it was such a thrill when he came to my school and I knew that that was him in the elephant costume. That was a lot of fun. My dad had some health issues really throughout his adult life. He lived with Crohn's disease. At age 70, he fought colon cancer. In his 85th year, he was diagnosed with end-stage liver disease, which really there was no cure for. So that's when we started preparing for end-of-life care. As Dad's illness progressed, we were getting into the summer, and you could just tell that he was slowing down. His energy levels were getting a lot lower. And I knew that their 60th wedding anniversary, which was in October, was something they were both really looking forward to. So we talked about it and we said, why don't we celebrate it earlier? Why don't we celebrate in August when it's nice weather and you've got some energy? So we held an open house in August, and we had about 60 or so family and friends that came. A month later, he was moving into hospice. The care that hospice could provide was the kind of care we wanted him to have at end of life. We wanted the very best for him. Mom could spend the time during the day with Dad and then go home, have dinner, and get a good night's sleep. We're really happy she could do that because, as you can imagine, she'd been a caregiver for Dad for well over 10 years, and it had really taken its toll on her as well. We all took turns spending the evening with Dad. That really gave us each that special private time with him too. And of course, the staff were really great. They made sure we were comfortable. As he got weaker, they let us know that it was getting a lot closer. So we spent more time with Dad, and we just checked in all the time. And in fact, on the day that he passed away, as many of our family members as could dropped in, and we all spent time with him, and we spent time together. And my mom and I and a couple of the staff were with Dad when he passed. It was very, very peaceful. He'd always said, I just want to go to sleep. It was really hard, but having the staff with you there, it took the fear away, and we were so grateful that they could be with us. After Dad passed, we held a really beautiful farewell ceremony where we lit floating candles in the reflection pool. It was just a really touching time for our family to be together. The journey that it took to get hospice open in our community, the number of people that were involved, whether it be the fundraising team or the clinical staff, all the volunteers, and then to think about how the community had supported hospice to make it a reality. It was just amazing to think that my family could benefit from that, and not just my family, but so many families in the community. Chatham-Kent Hospice is in our community to support families. If you'd like to learn more about how you can support hospice, we have wonderful volunteer opportunities. We host a number of different events throughout the year. Our benefit gala, our hike for hospice, our cornhole for hospice. I am so very grateful and thankful to our community for supporting Chatham-Kent Hospice over the years. It's quite remarkable, and it just takes that extra burden off your shoulders knowing that you can just be with your loved one as you say goodbye.